The Supreme Court has modified its ruling on the controversial Disbursement Acceleration Program, or DAP, acting on the government's motion for reconsideration of the High Court's original July 1st, 2014 decision. The tribunal, meeting en banc, lowered the number of unconstitutional acts under the DAP from 4 to 3. Under the new ruling, the court allowed the funding of projects, activities, and programs that were not covered by any appropriation in the General Appropriations Act. More details from Christine Santos.
The Supreme Court has partially granted the Aquino administration's motion for reconsideration as the court lowered the number of unconstitutional acts previously declared as illegal under the Disbursement Acceleration Program.
The court partially grants the motion for reconsideration filed by the respondents and denies the motion for partial reconsideration filed by the petitioners in GR number 209442 for lack of merit. The dispositive portion of the Court's July 1, 2014 decision is hereby modified as follows. Wherefore, the Court partially grants the petitions for certiorari and prohibition and declares the following acts and practices under the Disbursement Acceleration Program, National Budget Circular number 541, and related executive issuance unconstitutional for being in violation of Section 25, Paragraph 5, Article 6 of the 1987 Constitution and the doctrine of separation of powers.
The higher court affirmed its earlier decision that some provisions of the Disbursement Acceleration Program violate the Constitution. The SC maintained that the declaration of savings is illegal when done prior to the end of the fiscal year, as well as the cross-border transfers of the savings of the executive to augment the appropriations of other offices outside the executive. Under the new ruling, the SC allowed the funding of projects, activities, and programs that were not covered by any appropriation in the General Appropriations Act. This was earlier considered as illegal. The Supreme Court cleared out that the authors of DAP can still be sanctioned under the recent ruling, while the proponents and implementers of projects under DAP will not be held liable. The authors of DAP can get away from sanctions if proven that the projects were executed in good faith. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court said they also considered the effects of declaring all projects implemented under DAP as invalid.
In this decision today, the Court has further clarified the language by removing proponents and implementers and leaving only authors subject to the language and always subject to the presumption of good faith, which according to the Court remains and has not actually been removed.